Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. After being a necromancer for the last few days, I'm going to share with you my current PvP build. If we take a look at the skills, for the primary attack I'm using Soulfire. For the skills I'm using Bone Wall, with the essence on the chest, Exhuman's Backbone, where now it summons a pillar of rotting corpses that knocks enemies into the air and damages them. Damage is increased by 18%. For the offhand I'm using Pyro's Allure, where Bone Wall can now be ignited with Soulfire, dealing damage per second. The damage is increased by 90%. Next skill is Bone Spikes. I'm using No Mouth Face Essence on the head. Bone Spikes no longer charges up, instead immediately summons 3 forward moving spikes and knocks enemies into the air. Increased Bone Spikes maximum charges to 2. Bone Spikes damage is also increased to 18%. For Bone Armor, I'm using the Shoulders Grave Dirt Weight Essence, where now Bone Armor grants immunity to all effects which knocks you out of position. Bone Armor's cooldown is reduced by 3.6%. And lastly, Wraith Form, I'm using Revenant Wind on the main hand, where Wraith Form now calls for spirits to haunt up to 3 nearby enemies, dealing damage over 3 seconds, while reducing their movement speed by 30%. Damage is increased by 90%. For the legs I'm using Proximal Fear. Wraith Form now causes enemies you touch to flee in fear and damages them. Wraith Form damage is also increased by 18%. If we take a look at the gems, I'm using Phoenix Ashes, Bottled Hope, Bloodsoaked Jade, Echoing Shade, Chip of the Stone Flesh, and Seeping Bile. For the set pieces, I would suggest 2-piece Graceful Flagellant, 2-piece Untouchable Mountback, and 2-piece Festering Baron's Pack. You could also substitute one of the sets with the 2-piece Exemplar Urge, which is what I'm currently using, with the drop rate not being that great. Now let's take a look at the spells in action. If you look at Bone Wall, you can see the pillar of rotting corpses, and if you shoot Soulfire, it will ignite it to deal damage. When you cast Bone Spikes, you will notice the 3 spikes moving forward, and when enemies are there, it will knock them back. If you use Bone Armor, you will notice the obvious, that you shield all party members. As I change into Wraith Form, you'll notice haunted spirits leave my body, and if you pass over the enemy, they will flee in fear. Moving on to the last part of the build is the Paragon tree. So currently maxed out damage, life, armor pen. Next I'm going to work on armor and then resistance. Next few seconds I'll show you how I've allocated the Paragon points, and preferred tree I'm using Gladiator for PvP. Hope this video has been useful to someone. Please remember to subscribe, click that like button and leave a comment below. The last few videos are the build in action in Vault. Thank you for watching.
Recharge. Better. Still recharging. My life fades. That ability must recharge.